Hello, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. This is your tarot, rune, and oracle reading for the fourth quarter of 2024. So this will be covering October, November, and December. Before I continue, I just want to say I'm sorry if I get things out of frame or things don't focus. I have a new camera. Of course, my camera that I've been using for 4 years now broke yesterday. You know, it's eclipse season, so what can you do? Check out the eclipse season readings if you haven't already. This will be affecting us for a good portion of October. So yeah, also another thing I want to mention is that tomorrow, or at least, you know, when I'm filming this tomorrow, I will be releasing my online tarot reading course. And I would love for all of you to get that because, oh my God, I worked for 8 months on that thing. And I just want at least one sale, man. At least one sale. And I really need it right now. With my camera breaking, I just had to spend about $600 on a new one. Hopefully I could get the old one fixed. I don't know. So if you want to buy that course or get a personal reading with me, some life coaching with me, or even if you want to leave a donation to the channel, it would mean the world to me. Okay. And the link to all of that is in the description box. Link to donation or information on how to donate is in the description box of this video. And yeah, everything else is on my website, spiritpsychic.org. So the rune that came out for you this quarter is Manas. And it is coming out in this inverted position here. Now, the reason I love working with runes is that they are so blunt. There are runes that are not good. There are runes that are fantastic. Now, when Manas comes out in reverse, it shows, you know, that an enemy is nearby. There is somebody that is energetically tied to you right now that is sending you bad energy. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. So a lot of you psychically, spiritually, intuitively, you already know who this person is. If you have no idea, I wouldn't worry about this message. This could just talk about being confident in yourself. Because here's the thing, guys. With Manas coming out in reverse, not only could this be somebody else around you, this could also be yourself. Are you acting as your own enemy by bullying yourself every time you look in the mirror, every time you can't get something right or you mess something up? You could be your own worst enemy. Okay, and if that's the case, you need to work on that absolutely this quarter. For others of you, it's equally as bullying to yourself to keep an open air enemy energetically tied to you. There may need to be a cord cutting ritual that takes place. Now, when we think of cord cutting rituals, a lot of people immediately jump to like their ex, like, oh, I'm going to cut my cord with my ex. They don't think of people like certain family members that are really toxic for us, certain narcissists in our life, coworkers that do not want the best for us, or even like the exes of our partners, you know, who may hate us, you know, things like that we need to protect ourselves from, because when you have that energy cord there, and if they send you negative energy, which they don't have to know witchcraft to do that, by the way, anytime you talk crap on somebody or have a very strong emotional negative response to somebody, you're sending them that energy. So it's important to stay spiritually protected and maybe set the intention that certain problematic individuals or people who you think may be jealous of you or not want you in somebody's life, I would just set some very intentional intentions to protect yourself from those people specifically. That's what I want to say there with that. Also, the best defense you can do if somebody is sending you negative energy, or even if you yourself are sending yourself negative energy, is to be confident. Spend time pouring energy into yourself. Work on the things that you want to work on. Do art, dance, you know, work out, eat right, have a lot of healthy, happy relationships in your life. That is the best thing you can do to protect yourself. Okay. Your overall spiritual theme and message for this quarter is fire. The spirit of fire itself is working with you at this time, Virgo, and fire is very intense, very passionate, transformative. I believe for a lot of you, in the collective, this message has been coming through so much for this final quarter. This is going to be a significant final quarter for a lot of people. The message is your old life itself is burning down, burning away, and a new brand spanking new reality is coming into existence for the collective. Okay, Pluto. I'm never going to shut up about this. Pluto, the planet, is leaving the sign of Capricorn pretty much for good, pretty much for the rest of our lives, okay? And it is heading into Aquarius. Pluto is the planet of old and new eras, transformations, death and rebirth. So whenever it makes a transition like this, which is very rare, it happens like every other decade, it is the end of an era and the beginning of a new era. The end of the old, beaten down, broken in stories that we've been telling ourselves, and the beginning of a whole new life journey. So what have you been experiencing for these past like 15 to 20 years? That is what is changing. Okay, so for example, if you are somebody who for the past 15 years you've been studying your butt off, going to school, this quarter coming up, you may be turning the page into a brand new chapter. You may be entering your career now, starting a new family for some of you. If, for example, these past 15 years you've been super single or in and out of all these different types of relationships, this new era may be the era where you settle down. And vice versa. If for the past 15, 20 years you've been married in a long-term relationship, you may be going through a divorce and entering into your single life or something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe your whole life you've been living in your hometown and this is the end of that era. You're moving into a new era and you're moving abroad or something, The change itself is going to be drastic, significant, but it is the end of an era and the beginning of a new era for you. And this new era is ruled by fire energy, passion, excitement, spontaneity, flying by the seat of your pants. It feels like, Virgo, and you may hate this, the changes that are coming up, you can't fully perceive and plan for. There's a big element of luck here, and I say you might hate that because Virgo is definitely a sign of planning. But anyways, let's dive into the tarot. 9 cards, 3 rows of 3. We have the 4 of Wands coming out as your first card. Wow, this was the first card for Gemini as well. Uprights. Okay, some sort of celebration happening in October for you guys. It feels like some long-term successful, like settling down, like, okay, I'm definitely moving here. I'm definitely in this beautiful relationship. I'm definitely getting this job, some sort of very assured yes. This is the new path. It is settled. The paperwork is done. This is what we're doing. We have justice coming out in reverse. So there may be an injustice that takes place within your family, within your home, within your life in some area. Like, it's not fair. This person is so sweet and innocent, and they have to go through this. So you may be helping people through certain injustices that are taking place in their life, feeling like, why is this happening? This isn't balanced. This isn't right. So you may be dealing with a little bit of that. Also, this can apply on a global scale as well. Being very fired up and passionate about some global injustices that may be taking place. That may fire you up a little bit more in October than normal. King of Discs. Your masculine energy. This is a really good sign. I feel like October is going to be a great month financially for you, great month for your career. Things feel very settled. It feels like you know where you're going to live. So if any of you are sort of in between houses or in between moving, October may be a month where you're like, this is what my future looks like. This is where I'll live. This is the job that I'll be working. This is how my money will be coming through. And you're even planning out things like what your hobbies are, what you're going to do in your free time, things like that. Really interesting. Okay, second row of cards out. We have the King of Goblets in reverse. Beautiful. However, there could be, like we said, someone in your life who does not necessarily have your best intentions in mind. They have their own best intentions in mind. And this can be an influence of somebody who is a little bit emotionally manipulative or not healthy in the way that they communicate their emotions. So some of you may be dealing with someone like that. Very interesting. Next to that, we have center of your spread, the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, it can be frustrating. And this comes out underneath the Justice card. There may be some double standards that people have for you. Like, oh, I'm allowed to do this, but you're not. That type of deal. I would be on the lookout for anything like that. Like, oh, I can do this. You're not allowed to do that, though. I'm allowed to smoke cigarettes, but when you do it, it's a problem. I'm allowed to go out whenever I want, but when you do it, it's a problem. Be very, very careful of anybody around you who may be trying to inflict double standards on you during this quarter. Okay, it may be time for you to relinquish that person. Or any unfair treatment in the workplace, anything like that. Like, oh, why do I have to do more work, but I'm being paid less than the people who are doing less work than me? Be careful of that. We have the Tower coming out. November is going to be a significant month for you, Virgo. Like the center of this quarter, my gosh. Really toxic, unhealthy things are breaking down. You're not putting up with it any longer, I feel. Anyone who doesn't appreciate you, who doesn't see what you do, anyone who has double standards or just an unhealthy way of relating to you. Any unhealthy relationships, they're falling apart this quarter. Which is a good thing. It's a good thing. All right, third row of cards out, December. We have Temperance in reverse, right underneath that King of Goblets in reverse. Wow. So there is a lot of emotions during this time of the year for you because like we said, it feels like the old era, the old way of doing things, it's breaking down, it's leaving your life, okay? Any old emotional pattern, negative toxic relationships that you maybe have dealt with in the past, it is falling out of your life, it is breaking down. We have the Seven of Cups upright. Yeah, and here, this is what the emotional thing is, because with this breaking down, it's like, well, what does my future look like from here? And for some of you, this could be like breaking down in terms of like you are physically moving. So it's like all of those connections that I created in this old location, they're all falling apart. And I'm in this new place. Like, who do I have around me? And there's so many options around you. Like, well, what types of friends do I want? How do I want to meet them? The choice is yours. It feels like your old reality is melting away and a new reality is building itself back up. We have the Fool coming out as your final card, which is extremely positive. This shows a brand new beginning, a brand new cycle. So I love this for you. Wow. Starting fresh. And this is coming out right underneath that Tower card. The old stories are breaking down. A new story is coming in, and this is so much more healthy for you, so much more positive, and it's like any sort of massively transformative events that are taking place for you this quarter, Virgo, it is leading you onto your highest timeline. 100%. This feels right. This feels correct. So embrace it. Even though it may be a very emotional journey, your hormones may be going crazy with these changes, it is the correct path for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely watch for your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs to get the fullest overview of this quarter ahead. Like this video, comment how it resonated down below, and subscribe to the channel if you've not already. If you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my intention oils there and spiritual life coaching sessions there. My brand new online tarot reading course is also offered there. Make sure you get that if you want to learn tarot. And again, guys, if any of you want to donate to the channel, I can really use it right now with my camera. Oh my God. That's like the second worst thing that could possibly break next to my computer. Anyways, I appreciate any help with that as well. This has been a really rough year for me because all of my technology. So I started this YouTube channel, or my first YouTube channel, like 5 years ago. Technology only really lasts 5 years, so everything's been breaking this year. Oh my gosh. I appreciate all of the help, guys. I'm not even gonna front. I appreciate the help. I do not make a lot of money from these channels. I make about $200 a month from both of my channels, which is definitely not enough to cover a lot of things. My bills being one, and then I'm not gonna complain. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.